Grand rise, gods and goddesses, titans, adepts, oracles, mystics, everything of that nature. Welcome to winning the day, the expansion mode in our meditation and elevation. With this 11:11 coming through, that 11:11 energy, it's all about what you're implementing into that space based on your expansion. If you tuned in last night and you will watch the God Hour show, we were talking about burning those bridges, the hermit stage of your life that you needed to do. While you were in that hermit stage, it was about burning away those bridges, the things that were based on your existing and not your actual living. And I was thinking about it while I was at the gym. I just kept saying 11:11 all over again. A whole bunch of things into that nature moving forward. But when you're thinking about the expansion mode, one of the things when we go into this thought process of expanding past our boundaries, expanding past our space, is within our space sometimes when we're thinking about abundance, you're always abundant. I said this last night. You're always abundant. You're always healthy. You're always prosperous. But it's the work that you put in that creates your abundance. It's the work that you put in that stimulates the aspects of your abundance. Where your mind is at when you were in that space of you becoming the next level for yourself. Are you doing things based on that existence program? Or are you doing things based on living in the now? Are the old behaviors and the old patterns that used to keep you in a certain space, are you checking yourself? Are you checking yourself in that moment? Remember, if I think about it like this, the trauma is needed, the pain is needed, and I think about the process of me I was at the gym, set my intentions, do my runs, set my intentions, do my runs, put myself into that space, stop by the store, pick up 2 more cases of water because just running through water, pick up some other stuff, pick up my recovery stuff. That's all in my motion before I come into this space. Even the way that I'm seeing things in my shifting, the way that I'm handling things, the way that I'm doing things is based on me being in the now. It's not in the mindset of the old behavior patterns that would stop my consistency, to stop my growth. This is the biggest key. That honesty builds that transparency for you to be able to live in your now point. Bringing yourself into balance by understanding the things that were not so savory and the things that you got from the not so savory. They're both a part of the same space. This is why when we come into our expansion for ourselves, we want to expand, we want to get better. The first thing that we look at is our environment. The first thing we look at that's going to be triggered to us is going to be the individuals, the places, the people, all of these things around us that are used in the mindset to dishearten the human aspects of myself. Make my human aspect that always needs and wants something that's going to make me feel right. See, that's why I don't do anything like that. That's why I don't go to the gym, because somebody went in there and they slipped and fell. Ain't no one going to be videotaping me on no video, because you looked for it. You looked for a reason. You adapted to another person's distraction. Now that that person is no longer a distraction, now that that place is no longer a distraction, the key to build your energy up, build your charge, because your charge can get low based on that stagnant, is replacing that aspect in your life. So it's replacing it. What are you replacing it with? What food are you replacing in that space for your mind? Instead of now that you're in the now, what are you putting in that space? Is it based upon the old mentality of yourself, something that seems easy that can keep you in constriction, or is it something that can allow you to expand beyond into a new point? Remember that through that unknown is your potential. When we think about the aspects of potential, we're talking about potential energy. So your greatest accomplishments are always going to be within the unknown aspects of you. When we think about potential, your greatest amount of energy is going to be in the unknown of the aspects of you. The things that you have not allowed, the things that you have accepted, the things that you have admitted to, but you have not quite accepted. There's a difference between accepting something and admitting something. I can admit to myself all day that at a point in time I was the one. I could admit every single day that it's always me in a relationship or in my old friendships and everything that I was dealing with, that I was the one that pressed that self-sabotage button, or I was the one that did something. It's okay. It's cool to admit it, but it's the acceptance which requires the honesty of asking the question, why? Of asking me the question, why do I do this? Where did I get this first mouth? Where did I get this from? Where did I see this first speck of light in my space as I'm moving forward? And as I'm doing this takes me from that aspect of admitting to acknowledging to forgiving to actually thanking first. Thanking, forgiving, understanding, compassion. This brings me back to my middle point. When you're on your path, you have to set the markers to your middle point of yourself. A lot of us just think, okay, cool, middle point, get to the middle, just get to the middle, stay standing on my square. If you're existing, you're simply floating on that square. Now that I'm standing on my square, I'm sitting in my truth, is like nothing. I give myself tests to try to knock me off of my square. I test myself. I give myself those tests in my day to knock me off of my square, see if I can knock myself off of my pivot, seeing where I'm weak at. But I noticed that when my body's, it's like everything for me, notice when my body goes into healing mode and I'm extra hot for an entire day, or I'm extra hot, that means my body's in that healing aspect, my energy's up into a high point, to just how my reaction time is almost obsolete because I'm in the space of proactivity. That intuitive cycle for myself. And I'm embracing those shifts for myself. So like I can look back at a point in time when Mercury was in retrograde in Scorpio last year. And I'm looking at myself now. And looking at the comparison of where I was then and where I'm at now. I'm able to check those things off now. And being honest with myself. But it takes that amount of honesty with yourself. You're in expansion mode right now. If you've been doing the work, and this is real shit, if you've been doing the work, your abundance is going to come to you. Your abundance is going to come to you in everything that you are needing to get to that next level on both sides. But if you've been doing the work, that abundance is going to be everything that is deserving in that alignment that's what's going to come to you. If you haven't been doing the work, this is how you can tell if you've been doing your work or not doing your work. Based on your mindset, based on existing, or you're living in that now point. When you get that moment, when you get that hit of energy, peace, when you get that wave of energy, when you get that hit, it's going to either illuminate shadows and make you you're going to further feel constricted, or you're going to feel a sense of expanding. You've been doing the work, you're going to feel a sense of, similar to like when you max out at the gym, or you ran, or you did your squat challenge, or whatever it may be. You're going to feel this sense of relief right now. That's the expansion mode. Do not get lax. That's your expansion. That's that ticket to that expansion portal. But if you have not been doing the works that you have needed to be doing, for whatever reason it may be, it's going to show because you're going to feel further constricted. The very things that you need to be honest with yourself about, the density of that carbon 7 to that carbon 12, that energy, that form becoming more dense, that's what's going to be hitting you, and it's going to make those shadows seem more dense. It's going to make it seem more heavy. It's going to make it so you can't breathe in that space. It's going to make you more vulnerable. It's going to make you want to be, it's going to make you more angry. It's going to make you more sad. It's going to make you more, whatever emotion whatever trigger needs to be hit is going to be hit. That's being wide open into that space because you're in expansion mode. This is your growing. This is your coming into that space after that harvest moon, and now you're sitting in this space like, you know what? This is what I need to do next. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And that requires the aspect of burning those bridges. Allowing those bridges to burn that no longer serve purpose because they're making you go downwards. You're now in this space. You're now in this space for yourself that this is your balance. What are you doing now that you have the space? Now that you cut off the certain aspects in your life, now that you cut away certain things, what are you doing with that excess energy? What are you doing in that space? Because it's the difference between reacting to the stimuli and actually creating the potential stimuli. That's that balance for yourself. There's a difference between me reacting and steady going this moment by this moment by this moment, and me being able to comfortably look 50 steps ahead and not get bogged down with overthinking of, oh my God, my life is not going to happen the way that I want it to happen. You're looking at you're existing. Everything that's coming up is going to help you jettison to go forward. But you have to be able to see that and be humble with that aspect. This is your beast mode. This is you growing. This is that aspect for yourself. Everything that you set yourself up for now at this moment, this is your time to actually start planting them seeds, putting in that work for it. That's what I did for the card today on Monday was the Ace of the Page of Wands, was represent standing firm in your decisions going forward. All the way to yesterday was the Ace of Cups, being able to check that cup at the door, see what's in that cup, see if it's ice cubes of further resentment, if it's ice cubes of resentment, ice cubes of holding on to old thoughts, ice cubes of trying to rationalize so shit fits in your paradigm. What stuff are you dropping into your cup to allow it to overflow? Because you can be feeding yourself, you can be feeding the abundance. You can be feeding the abundance, but is it an abundance of the repression? Is it a prosperity and the wealth of your oppression, what's kept you in that space? That's existing. Or is your cup actually overflowing with the necessary aspects of love? Is your cup overflowing with the necessary aspects that are putting you in a healthy position? This is when you're checking yourself. But I just want you to be fucking great. I want you to be fucking awesome. I want you to be the fucking best. You got one or two choices. Either you're going to evolve or repeat. I'm in a space where it's like, I want to go further. I want to expand. Creating that new foundation. So when it does come moments for me to actually create something in that space, I'm creating stuff at the best space in my life. I'm creating it from a balanced space. I'm creating it from a space of balance, healthy. I'm cultivating that for myself. So everything that I create in reflection is going to be based on that narrative. I'm no longer, okay, cool. But that's going to be your growth. GodOccult-alchemist-LLC.com or inbox me for reading services, including Spotify, natal chart analysis, setting up that consultation, setting up for a reading. I want you to grow in that aspect. God Occult Alchemist, the YouTube channel tomorrow. Friday, we're getting into the labyrinth. the aspects of how you can have things coming into your life. We're going to get in deeper into that with the labyrinth. Stay tuned for that information. I want you to be the fucking best. Stay tuned for that subscription on my YouTube channel for the card of the day. And we just going to keep building. I love you. We love us. I'll shut.